everyone. In this video, I'd like to talk about adopting a nervous dog. Just like humans, dogs have different personalities. Some of them are more outgoing and others can be really quite shy. Now, this can affect how they behave when you go to visit them at the kennels to see if you'd like to choose them as your next best friend. And you may find that they're not that keen to show themselves off very well. So you may not feel an immediate attraction to a dog that's nervous because they're not really letting you see their personality because they're too worried to do that. They may not want to play in the paddock. If they have an existing dog, they may not be too keen on getting to know your dog. And it's often useful to look at how they react around the volunteers that know them better rather than towards you, because they may have a greater connection with those volunteers and you might have a better idea of how they could behave once they settle in and relax. So how can we help a nervous dog settle into home life? Gradual is the way to do it. We want them to have a quiet introduction without too much going on. So avoid having visitors, not too much coming and going. They may not want to walk at first, so you might only do one walk or even no walks. They could be prone to freezing, which is when the sympathetic nervous system is stimulated for them to feel threatened, but they're really not quite sure what to do about it. So if they are prone to freezing, then you might want to cut back down on your walk times until they get more comfortable out and about in your area. We also want to give them space. A safe space where they can go to rest is important for any dog, but particularly for a nervous dog. I would expect them to sleep quite a lot because just moving into your house is going to be tiring for them. And we know greyhounds sleep a lot, but a dog that's feeling a bit anxious is likely to sleep even more. Some may be very clingy. It really depends on how their nervousness manifests, but some dogs will be keen to be with you and not feel safe on their own. If you have a dog that's nervous about people, then you might get the opposite of that. They may not want to come near you at all, in which case it's best to leave them to their own devices and just really act like they're not there. So we want them to come to you in their own time. I know it's tempting to want to cuddle and give lots of fuss, but really it's better to wait for them to feel that they want that rather than forcing that on them, because that can make them even more anxious. So leave them alone, let them do things in their own time, whether they're clingy or whether they're withdrawn. And it might take a while for that bond to build and for the dog to feel that they can trust you. If you have a shy dog, you need to wait for their natural curiosity to surface. That was like my Jimmy. He started off very, very concerned about any sort of human contact, but he's now come out of his shell when I gave him time for curiosity to get the better of him, and he felt that I was safe to be around. Clingy dogs, they need somewhere to settle, somewhere where they feel it's okay, so they can start to learn that it's all right not to be right next to you all the time. And that was Daisy at first. She couldn't cope with being anywhere without me, and it wasn't just people that were important to her, it was specifically me that was important. And so I had to help her to feel confident enough to be in a space that I wasn't in with her. So it's important to manage your contact with the dog carefully. If you have a dog that's worried about people, then you need to be careful about how you approach them for essentials, such as putting on a collar and lead. Others may tolerate it, but it doesn't mean that they're not scared. So keep an eye on their body language, but avoid direct eye contact so you can assess how they're feeling and make your movements as slow and careful as they need to be so you don't make them more anxious. Think about how you act and how you move around them. Sudden movements, loud noises, sudden gestures are likely to be scary. So we want to think slow, we want to think quiet, and we want to think calm. And in particular, think about that eye contact. I know it's tempting to keep an eye on them, especially if you're worried about house training. You might be watching them to check for any signs they need to go out. But too much eye contact is going to be worrying to a nervous dog if they're concerned about people. and so try to watch out of the corner of your eye rather than looking at them directly. The one thing that nervous dogs need in particular is time, and they're going to take a while to settle in, to start to feel they can trust you and to build that bond with you before they begin to blossom. So if you've taken on a nervous dog, or you're thinking that this is something you could do, then if you need help, please do get in touch. Contact me via my website to find out about the behaviour support I can offer for you. That's all for today. We'll be back again soon with more videos for you. Bye for now. Look out for new videos every Monday, and why not subscribe so you don't miss out.